town in Kiambu County, the proposed expressway would greatly exceed traffic flow along the routes, which currently experience persistent traffic congestion. However, specific details on the project are not publicly available. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1. The proportion of the total project cost to be financed by the government, including details on the budgetary allocation already set aside or proposed for the project. 2. The alternative financing mechanism being considered to support the implementation of the project. 3. The expected commencement date for the project, as well as the measures in place to ensure timely completion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senator for Embu County, Dr. Alexander Munyimudigi. Thank you.
Next is Senator Mwenda Gataya. That message is, statement is dropped. Senator Ososi Gonfrey. That statement is also dropped. Senator for Nandi County, Senator Samson Chelagay, MP.
CBS. Mr. Speaker, I have two statements and I hope you will allow me to read them concurrently, mutatis mutandis. Mr. Speaker, sir. Request for statement on the frontline diversion of funds at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital and the protection of patients. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the frontline diversion of funds at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, MTRH, in which an employee acting in collusion with an accomplice siphoned approximately Kenyan shillings 10 million through manipulation of hospital payment process linked to the e-citizen platform. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee should address the following. The status of investigation into the alleged fraud at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, Eldoret in Uasin Gishu County, including the officers implicated, the role of hospital staff, and any disciplinary, administrative, or criminal action taken against responsible persons. Mr. Speaker, sir, number 2, the adequacy of internal financial controls, audit trails, reconciliation procedures, segregation of duties, and supervisory mechanisms at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, Eldoret in Uasin Gishu County, and other public hospitals, including Kenyatta National Hospital, among others, and the immediate corrective measures being implemented to prevent recurrence. Mr. Speaker, sir, number 3, the measures in place to protect patients from exploitation, wrongful charges, service denial, or delays arising from fraudulent payment practices, including mechanism for complaint, handling, redress, and sector-wide reforms by the Ministry of Health on revenue management and accountability in public hospital using digital platforms such as e-citizen payment. So, Speaker, number 4, whether similar incidences have been reported in other health institutions using e-citizen platform or related government digital payment systems, and the reforms being implemented on monitoring, incident response, interagency, cybersecurity coordination, and public safeguards to restore confidence in government digital platforms. Mr. Speaker, on to my second statement, with your indulgence, of course. Request for a statement on security vulnerabilities in the e-citizen payment platform following a fraudulent diversion of funds. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Information Technology, Communication Technology in a matter of national concern. Sorry, Mr. Speaker, should I proceed? Okay, sorry, I thought when there is change, you freeze. So, Speaker, let me take this one again. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Information, Communication, and Technology on a matter of national concern regarding e-citizen system vulnerabilities following the fraudulent diversion of funds at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, through which approximately Kenyan shillings 10 million shillings was siphoned. In the statement, the committee should address the following: whether a digital forensic audit or investigation has been conducted to establish how the fraudulent diversion occurred. Number two, the statements being taken to strengthen the security, integrity, auditability of e-citizen platform and link payment interfaces, including safeguard against manipulation and unauthorized diversion of funds, inside abuse, and system-level vulnerabilities. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator for Nairobi City County, Senator Edwin Sifuna.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing on a matter of countrywide concern regarding safety standards at the Kisumu International Airport after it was besieged by goons on Saturday, February 21st, 2026. Mr. Speaker, sir, the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, through Annex 17 of the Convention on International Civil Aviation, establishes the international standards and recommended practices for protecting civil aviation against acts of unlawful interference. ICAO requires all contracting states to implement and maintain a national civil aviation security program to safeguard passengers, crew, ground personnel, aircraft, facilities, and the general public. The immense potential for Kisumu International Airport to develop into a major cargo and passenger hub for East Africa is at risk if political activities similar to those witnessed on 21st February 2025 are allowed to reoccur. In the statement, the committee should address the following. Number one, the current safety and security protocols at Kisumu International Airport and whether they fully comply with Annex 17 standards and recommended practices of the International Civil Aviation Organization. Number two, the circumstances under which unauthorized individuals gained access to and operated within the airport premises on February 21st, 2026, including any identified lapses in security enforcement. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, the specific corrective actions and long-term remedial measures that will be implemented to prevent a recurrence of such breaches and to strengthen airport security governance going forward. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator for Machakos County, the Honorable Kavindu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A request for a statement by the Senator of Machakos, Honorable Senator Kavindu. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on a matter county-wide concern. Sorry, this was for another one. Sorry, Mr. Speaker, that is for Miraj. Sorry. Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry for that. This is the statement, a request for statement by Senator Kavindu. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the state of the urban road network in Machakos County. Mr. Speaker, sir, Kivanguli Road is an important urban access road in Machakos County. The road connects Kathome and Mua areas and serves a large and rapidly growing population. Despite its significance, the road has been neglected by the Kenya Urban Roads Authority, KURA, and is currently in a deplorable condition. This is not an isolated case, as several other urban access roads across Machakos County are in similar condition. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, the committee should address the following: the assessment of the current state of all urban access roads in Machakos County under the management of Kenya Urban Roads Authority, KURA. Number two, the plans for rehabilitation of Kivanguli Road and other urban access roads in Machakos County that are in deplorable condition, including specific timelines for commencement and completion of rehabilitation works. The status of the roads maintenance funding at Kura, including strategies planned for implementation to address the systematic delays in road maintenance. Number 4, the criteria used by Kura to prioritize roads for maintenance, including weather factors such as road condition and traffic volume, are considered. Senator Agnes Kavindu, Senator for Machakos County. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, the statement by the Senator for Wajir County is dropped. Senator Kirinyaga County. Senator Bass, do you wish to say something? I thought this was done under your instructions. Your statement that was supposed to be addressed to the National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations. Okay, Senator Bass, just approach the chair while the Senator for Kirinyaga County takes to the floor. Senator Bass. Proceed, Senator for Kirinyaga. Senator Bass, just approach the chair, please.
Asante sana Mr. Speaker. Naomba kauli kuhusu mradi wa kiwanda cha kusindika nyanya eneo la Kangai, kaunti ya Kirinyaga. Mr. Speaker, nasimama kwa mujibu wa kanuni ya kudumu ya 53(1) ya kanuni za kudumu za Seneti kuomba kauli kutoka kwa kamati ya kudumu ya kilimo, mifugo na uvuvi kuhusu mradi ya kiwanda cha kusindika nyanya kinachopendekezwa kujengwa katika eneo la Kangai, kaunti ya Kirinyaga. Mr. Speaker, kaunti ya Kirinyaga hususan maeneo ya Mwea na Kangai ni miongoni mwa maeneo yanayozalisha nyanya kwa wingi nchini. Hata hivyo, wakulima wameendelea kupata hasara kubwa kutokana na kuyumba kwa bei na ukosefu wa miundo muhimu ya kuongeza dhamana na zao la nyanya. Pendekezo la kuanzishwa kwa kiwanda cha kusindika nyanya lilengo kupunguza uharibikaji wa mazao baada ya mvuno, kuimarisha bei ya mkulima, kuongeza ajira na kukuza uchumi wa kaunti. Hata hivyo, kumekuwa na taarifa ambazo hazijakuwa wazi kuhusu hatua iliyofikiwa katika utekelezaji wa miradi huo pamoja na chanzo cha ufadhili wake. Katika kauli hiyo, kamati zingatia fuatayo. Kwanza, hatua zilizopigwa katika ujenzi wa kiwanda cha kusindika nyanya eneo la Kangai kufikia sasa. Pili, ni lini ujenzi wa kiwanda hicho unatarajiwa kuanza na kukamilika? Tatu, kama upembuzi yakinifu kwa kimombo feasibility studies ulifanyika na matokeo yake ni gani? 4, kiasi cha fedha kilichotengwa kwa ajili ya mradi huo na fedha hizo zinatoka wapi? 5, ikiwa kuna ufadhili kutoka kwa taasisi za kimataifa za maendeleo kama vile Benki ya Dunia au taasisi zinginezo na masharti ya ufadhili huo ni yapi? Na ya mwisho, mikakati iliyowekwa na serikali kuhakikisha mradi huo unakuwa endelevu na wenye manufaa ya moja kwa moja kwa wakulima wa nyanya wa Kangai na maeneo jirani. Senator Morango Kirinyaga. Asante Mr. Speaker.
Senator Miraj Abdullahi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a request for statement by Senator Miraj Abdullahi, MP, nominated senator. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53(1) to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on a matter of countrywide concern regarding the implementation of a policy exempting children aged 0 to 5 years from payment of medical fees at the Coast General Hospital and Coast Teaching and Referral Hospital. and the continued billing and collection of payments from families within this age bracket, despite the stated exemption. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, the committee should address the following: the implementation status of the policy, including action taken to prevent, detect, and address any charging of under 5 years of old patients, the total amount of funds used to finance the exemption, including total funds disbursed to Coast General for this purpose since adoption of the policy, the vote head stroke budget line from which the funds were allocated, and whether the funds were ring-fenced specifically for services to under 5-year-olds. Number 3, the number of incidents in which under 5-year-old patients were billed and or charged fees, including the accounts into which these monies were deposited, whether the payments were received under the hospital's standard revenue streams, and whether any reconciliation and or refunds were undertaken, whether the exemption applies only to residents of Mombasa County, and if so, the residence verification criteria and documents required, including how the hospitals handles under 5-year-old patients referred from other counties, noting that Coast General is a regional referral hospital serving multiple coast counties. Senator Miraj Abdullahi, nominated senator. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator for Kisii County, the Honorable Richard Onyonka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have 2 questions, and I hope you'll allow me to read them consecutively. Mr. Speaker, on a request for a statement on the security breach and attack on members of the Kisii County Assembly, Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense, and Foreign Relations on a matter of countrywide concern regarding the security breach and attack on members of the Kisii County Assembly that occurred within the Assembly precincts on the 2nd of December 2025. Mr. Speaker, in the statement, the committee should address the following. Number 1, the circumstances under which armed individuals gained access to the Kisii County Assembly premises, and explain the specific security lapses or failures that led to this breach. This should include the CCTV camera and all the other stuff that is captured. Mr. Speaker, number 2, the actions taken by the Ministry of Interior National Administration, the National Police Service, and the Kisii County Security Committee and the County Assembly Service Board in response to this incident. Number 3, the long-term security reforms and the interagency coordinating measures being implemented to prevent the recurrence of similar security breaches in county assemblies across our republic, and to ensure that safety, protection of members of the county assemblies as they discharge their constitutional duties and mandate within the county precincts. Number 4, the steps taken to investigate the incidents must identify whether they have identified the perpetrators responsible for the attack, the vandalism, property destruction, human harassment, and all that took place, and whether there has been anything done to prosecute the individuals who perpetrated this crime within the law. Mr. Speaker, the second question I'd like to ask is, I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 553-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee of National Security, Defense, and Foreign Relations on a matter of countrywide concern regarding the reported death of Kenyan nationals in the ongoing conflict of Ukraine and Russia, and the urgent need for government intervention to either inform Kenyans, investigate this matter, support the affected families, and safeguard other Kenyans abroad on this war. Mr. Speaker, deeply disturbing reports indicate that 3 Kenyan nationals, Mr. Dennis Ombori Bagaka, Mr. Wahome Simon Giakatitu, and Mr. Clinton Nyapara Mogesa were killed in Ukraine in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict, and their bodies are said to have been recovered by Ukraine authorities. It doesn't seem like anybody knows where those bodies are after they were retrieved. Of particular concern, Mr. Speaker, is Mr. Mbagaka, a former member of the Kenya Defense Forces, whose family says they lost contact with him after he departed Kenya on September 2025. Mr. Speaker, his family is yet to receive official confirmation regarding the circumstances of his death or support for the verification of the reports and repatriation of the bodies of these individuals who have died abroad. Mr. Speaker, the lack of formal communication has also left these families in prolonged distress and uncertainty. This situation has raised serious national, diplomatic, and humanitarian concern about the state's responsibility to safeguard Kenyan citizens abroad and ensure their families receive truth, dignity, and closure. Mr. Speaker, the families would like to know how these individuals were recruited, whether the government national employment agency played a role, and what role it did. In the statement, the committee should address the following: whether the government has formally confirmed the identities of the Kenyan nationals reported to have died in Ukraine and Russia, and clarify the circumstances surrounding their deaths. Number two, steps which the government has taken to verify this information with the relevant foreign authorities of foreign countries so that we can obtain official documentation relating to their deceased and or their bodies. Mr. Speaker, number three, I would like the committee to look at the measures currently being undertaken to facilitate the recovery and repatriation of the remains of the deceased persons and in coordination with the affected families. And finally, Mr. Speaker, the families would like to know whether there was any agreement signed by these individuals with the Kenyan government or with any other body that took them to go and fight in this war. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Senator, no, the statement by Senator for Nakuru County is deferred. Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing on a matter of national concern regarding the status of the Talanta Sports Stadium project. In the statement, the committee should address the following. One, a comprehensive breakdown of the approved budget for the construction of the Talanta Sports Stadium with clear justification for the variation of the contract sum from Kenya shillings 35 billion to Kenya shillings 45.8 billion. Two, the procurement process employed in awarding the contract, including reasons for bypassing the open tendering system, and confirm whether all the statutory requirements were observed, particularly the need for mandatory approval of the Attorney General for contracts exceeding Kenya shillings 5 billion. Three, the terms of contractual agreement, highlighting any provisions that may have resulted in obligations or imposition of heavy penalties upon the government. Four, the current progress of the project, including timelines, milestone achieved, and whether penalty clauses exist that disproportionately burden the government in the event of delays. Five, measures undertaken to safeguard transparency and value for money, including audits or investigation into cost overruns, procurement irregularities, and illegal compliance, as well as any disciplinary action taken against officers found culpable. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator for Tharaka Nithi County, Senator Mwanagataya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. for giving me another chance. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education on a matter of national concern regarding the rising cases of student fatalities in boarding schools across Kenya. In the statement, Honorable Speaker, the committee should address the following. The number of student fatalities registered in boarding schools across the country from 2022-23 to date and obtain information on the cause of death in each case. Number two, Honorable Speaker, the establishment of medical protocols to ensure that students presenting with health concerns receive immediate clinical review from trained health personnel at the school, and where a case demands are promptly referred to hospital. Number three, Honorable Speaker, the committee should give the guidelines in place to ensure that the schools adhere to the established medical protocols and the stipulated consequences for non-compliance. Number four, Honorable Speaker, the steps being taken to address the rising cases of student fatalities in boarding schools, including whether there are plans to review and improve school health policies and the medical protocols. The last one, Honorable Speaker, the committee should also check whether there exists a framework to provide psychological and other forms of support to the families that lose their children as well as the students of the affected schools. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is Senator Mwenda Gataya. More fire. Senator.
Then there's a statement pursuant to Standing Order 58 by the Senator for Isiolo County, Senator Fatuma Dulo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 58 to inform the House of a serious incident that threatens my life, my supporters, and the safety of elected leaders in this country. Mr. Speaker, on 20th February 2026, I received an explicit and credible threat through social media from an individual who has since been identified as a supporter of the governor for Isiolo County. The message stated, "We must stop Fatuma Dulo from progressing in her politics." Upon receiving this threat, I immediately reported the matter to the relevant security agencies and formally requested investigation into its sources, nature and seriousness, as well as appropriate security intervention. I was concerned that the threat was politically motivated and posed a real and immediate danger to my safety and that of my team and supporters. Regrettably, no conclusive protective action had been taken and had been undertaken by the time of the event that followed. 3 days later, on 23rd February 2026, approximately 12 noon, my convoy arrived in Kina Township, Garbatula Sub-County, for a public engagement. I was standing on top of my vehicle as my media team set up equipment in preparation for my address, during which approximately 6 gunshots were fired in the rapid succession from a distance of less than 200 meters from where I was. The assailants were 2 individuals dressed in buibui, riding on a motorcycle. 4 spent cartridges were subsequently recovered at the scene. The gunshot caused confusion among the attendants and members of my team and posed a risk of panic and possible stampede. In order to safeguard members of the public and avert further alarm and potential disorder, I exercised deliberate restraint and maintained my composure, proceeding with the engagement in full confidence that the police officers present would take appropriate measures to contain and manage the situation. Upon conclusion of my address at the Kina Township, I proceeded to Kina Police Station, where I formally recorded a statement regarding the incident. I have further escalated the matter to the relevant national security authorities to ensure that a thorough, impartial, and expeditious investigation is undertaken, including comprehensive forensic ballistic analysis of the recovered cartridges and a concurrent inquiry into the prior threats as part of potentially coordinated criminal scheme. Mr. Speaker, A day after the attack at a baraza in a place called Gafarsa, the governor publicly questioned my mental wellness and alleged that the shooting was stage managed. These remarks are reckless, offensive, and intended to discredit me and undermine the ongoing investigation. And the governor's rush to dismiss the incident raises serious questions about his own involvement. Mr. Speaker, separately, Mr. Abdullahi Boso, who has been absent from Isiolo County for about 6 months, recently resurfaced and made false allegations that I used state security agencies to orchestrate his abduction. During his alleged abduction, he was reportedly making calls to the family members from Kismayu, Somalia, which seriously undermines his account. He convened a meeting with elders to repeat this accusation publicly. This is part of the same coordinated campaign to discredit me and divert attention from the real threats against my life. I categorically deny this allegation. I therefore call upon the relevant authorities to formally investigate the true circumstances of Mr. Boso's 6 months disappearance and his activities in Kismayu, Somalia during the period and take appropriate action thereof. Mr. Speaker, since 2022, individuals who have criticized the county government and the governor have been systematically threatened, attacked, and maimed. A group of individuals appear to be operating above the law, using violence and intimidation to silence dissent and protect those in power. The sequences of events, that is the explicit threat of 20th February and the shooting incident of 23rd February, strongly suggest a coordinated and politically motivated attempt to intimidate, harm, or eliminate me. I therefore formally put on record concerns regarding my safety and that of my family, associates, and supporters. Should anything untoward happen to any one of us, security agencies are hereby put on notice to treat these behind the threats and the shooting as primary suspects and persons of interest. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I impress upon Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration to take immediate cognizance of this matter and issues appropriate directions to the relevant security agencies to investigate both the prior threats and the subsequent shooting as interconnected and potentially coordinated. Impress upon the Directorate of Criminal Investigation to undertake a thorough, impartial, and expeditious investigation to establish the identity, whereabouts, and culpability of the 2 suspects reportedly dressed in buibui and riding a motorcycle who perpetrated the shooting. Number 3, request that the 4 recovered cartridges be subjected without delay to comprehensive forensic ballistic examination to determine the weapons used and to facilitate identification and comprehension of those responsible. Mr. Speaker, I also request that the social media threats issued on 20th February be investigated as an integral component of the same criminal enterprise, and that the individual responsible be identified, traced, and held accountable in accordance with the law. Mr. Speaker, I request the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration takes immediate action to enhance security measures to safeguard and protect my person, my family, and my team and supporters, pending the conclusion of investigation and ensuring legal proceeding. Mr. Speaker, allow me to quote the infamous prominent German pastor, Martin Niemer. First, they came for socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. And this is a very serious quote, Mr. Speaker, sir. If decisive action is not taken, we risk normalizing political violence and emboldening those who believe intimidation is an unacceptable tool in our democratic space. Today, it's me, tomorrow it will be another senator, a member of the National Assembly, a governor, or any leader who dares to serve independently and speak without fear. This is not merely about my personal safety. It is about protecting the integrity of our institutions and preserving the rule of law. Silence or inaction will send a dangerous message that elected leaders can be threatened with impunity. This August House must stand firm and ensure that accountability prevails before such acts, before the norm rather than exception. Mr. Speaker, sir, Senate must stand firm in affirming that violence and intimidations have no place in our democracy. I will not be silenced, and neither should any leader in this republic be silenced. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Before I allow comments on the statements that have been sought, the matter raised by Senator Fatuma Dulo is a very serious matter. And since it touches on the security of a member of this House, I do direct the Inspector General of Police to investigate this matter and file a report with the Office of the Speaker in the next 14 days. Now, Honorable Senators, I'm now going to allow comments for not more than 15 minutes on the statements that have been sought, starting with Senator S.C. Okenyuri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to comment on Senator Cherargei's two statements. That's one on the vulnerability of the e-citizen payment platform and the diversion of funds at MTRH. Mr. Speaker, this is not the first time we are reading about loss of funds at MTRH. And these two statements are actually intertwined, but they draw us to a report that was given by the Auditor General back in 2025, the month of August. And that report from the Auditor General really shed light on a lot that is actually happening. Mr. Speaker, when you actually see that an internal person was colluding with someone, then it begs the question, who actually has the credentials of the e-citizen platform? And when you even go through this report, it shows you that the National Treasury and so many other people in there are not able to provide documents to aid reconciliation. So without reconciliation, Mr. Speaker, even if investigations are launched and follow-up for return of the money is pursued, it's very unlikely because then there's no documented evidence to support the same, Mr. Speaker. So the committee that is going to look into these two issues need to seriously dig deeper so that we know where the issue is. Apart from the systems, do we pursue individuals, or because I thought the system was to come to curb corruption, but it's now working as an agent aiding corruption, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, when you look at the case in MTRH, it took over a year for them to realize that we are actually losing money. This actually shows that probably in other organizations would be losing similar amounts of money, and it's not been realized because of weak internal controls. And maybe there are so many people in this chain of loss of funds, Mr. Speaker. So this is not any other statement. It's a serious statement which concerns loss of public resources. And we are talking about corruption and how we should eradicate this. So we need to ensure the e-citizen platform works so that it doesn't serve as an agent aiding corruption. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Osotsi. Keep it under 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to comment on the statement by the Senator of Nairobi on the blockage of Kisumu International Airport by goons. Mr. Speaker, this is a very serious matter. I know it is a matter, when I raised it, it earned me a suspension from this House, but it indeed happened, and it was very sad to see a group of about 500 goons with the pangas stationed at the entrance to the airport to stop leaders who were to go for a rally in Kakamega from coming out of the airport. But unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, we got wind of what was going to happen the previous night, and we made alternative arrangement. But that aside, we cannot descend to that level of stationing goons and security officers at an international airport, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when we talk about improving our tourism revenue, we cannot improve our tourism revenue when we are doing acts that are going to scare away visitors from different parts of the world to this country, when we are going to make our important public institution be avenues to target political opponents. I think this is a serious matter that regardless of which side you support, it is a matter that this House must take very seriously because, Mr. Speaker, anything can happen. And tomorrow you will be on our side. You will be in the opposition. And you do not want that to happen to you. Mr. Speaker, even as I say that, the previous night to the blockage at the airport, I and the governor of Siaya, there's a similar incident happened at one of the hotels in Kisumu, Royal Swiss Hotel, where another large group of goons were brought there to stop us from leaving the hotel. And Mr. Speaker, even there were gunshots that were heard at that point while we were in that hotel. We had to find a way to escape from that hotel. And my concern is that even if we differ politically, Mr. Speaker, we cannot descend to the level of sending goons to private and public installation to scare our opponents. Mr. Speaker, we have sent our forces to Haiti. This is how Haiti started. When the government in power started using goons to carry out police operation or government operations, this is how now those goons now became emboldened enough to start becoming a problem. And now the whole international community is focusing on Haiti because of the disorder that is there. We are actually going to go the Haiti route if we don't take this matter seriously. So this is a very important statement that I expect the committee to look at it with all impartiality and fairness so that we stop this kind of habit and basically crude way of dealing with your opponents. So, Mr. Speaker, I support.
Secretary, the time per senator speaking is not more than 3 minutes, so kindly configure that time. Senator Joe Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity, and I want to make a comment on the statement by Senator Mwenda Gataya first, Mr. Speaker, regarding safety of learners in educational institutions. And Mr. Speaker, I want to say that having some experience in that particular field, in recent times, Mr. Speaker, public schools have been should be indicted for this, Mr. Speaker, because they have been admitting way more than their capacity, Mr. Speaker. And some students actually do not sleep in dorms that are, fit for the same. Some of them sleeping even in dining halls. And so, Mr. Speaker, I think when the committee looks into this matter, they should see to it that public schools, because they are the major culprits now, that public schools observe the requirements by the Minister of Education, especially on safety standards. Mr. Speaker, I also want to comment on a statement that was read by the Senator for Embu, Senator Mundigi, regarding a road that needs to be improved or, to bitumen standard, a road adjoining very many areas of Embu County, a road by the name Gandhi. But Mr. Speaker, we must be cognizant that the committees of this House are very busy. And because we see the President dishing out roads, Mr. Speaker, I think I would like, if you may, that Senator Mundigi takes the shorter route of asking this President, because he's always in the company of the President, takes the shorter route of asking for this particular road to be improved, other than bringing this and giving our committee on roads a job that he can do in a more brief way, Mr. Speaker, because he's always in the company of the President and the Deputy President. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to make a comment on the statement by Senator Cherargei of Nandi County on the siphoning of funds from Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, Mr. Speaker, using IT. This is a very serious matter of loss of public funds, especially considering that there are so been reports that funds coming from the national, from betting and licensing and control board have been going to individuals directly, Mr. Speaker. So that matter should also be investigated, because we cannot afford to continue losing public funds through some cruel IT operations, Mr. Speaker. I support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to comment on Senator Gataya's statement. Mr. Speaker, quite often there are reports of injury or deaths from schools, secondary schools, primary schools, which are boarded, university students. Therefore, when death occurs in such a situation, at the end of the day, no one takes responsibility. You cannot blame the teachers. You cannot blame the government. And in a way, Mr. Speaker, we must come up with a way of making sure that when such injuries occur, then there is proper insurance of the school and the students. There are quite a number, and they are in increase. Not only a parent gets a phone call from school only to learn that your child has passed away. Even if it is in a swimming pool, there must be proper mechanisms to make sure that whoever deals with the swimming pool is making sure the students are safe. So it's a matter of big concern, and I believe the Committee of Education will really go through this matter so that we can make sure that children are safe wherever they're in boarding schools, wherever they're in school transport, wherever they are also in classrooms. It has happened, Mr. Speaker, and we have seen it on the news. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support it.
Senator Kenyan.
Asante Bwana Spika. Kwanza kabisa Spika, nataka kukushukuru kwa uamuzi wako wa hekima kuhusu taarifa ya Fatuma Dulo, kwa sababu seneta yoyote Bwana Spika akiwa na ukosefu usalama ni ukosefu kwa wetu sisi wote. Kwa hivyo nashukuru kwa uamuzi wako kwa kumwamuru Inspector General wa polisi alete ripoti yake ya uchunguzi kwa siku ambazo umezitaja. Nashukuru Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, nataka kuchangia taarifa iliyoletwa na Senator Cherargei kuhusu kufujwa kwa hela katika hospitali ya Moi Teaching Referral Hospital. Bwana Spika, nilidhania kwamba wakati tuliambiwa tutakuwa tukilipa, ama wananchi waliambiwa watakuwa wakilipa hela kupitia mfumo wa e-citizen, nilidhania basi tumefunga, hakuna vile hela zingefujwa. Lakini tukiambiwa ya kwamba hela zinaendelea kufujwa. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, wale ambao wamepewa yale majukumu ya kuchunga zile hela na kutetea wananchi wasije wakapoteza zile hela, ni jambo ambalo linaonyesha kwamba Wakenya ambao wamepewa yale majukumu ni watu wasio na uaminifu. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, kamiti ambayo itakayoshughulikia haya maneno napaswa waangalie kwa undani, kwa sababu hela zikifujwa unapata huduma hazipatikani, vile vile pesa, vile vile dawa hazipatikani katika hospitali Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo jambo hili ambalo limeletwa na Senator Cherargei linapaswa liangaliwe kwa undani sana Bwana Spika. Kuna taarifa iliyoletwa na Senator Senator Murango kuhusu viwanda. Na kwa sababu sisi kama seneti jambo ambalo tunashughulikia ni gatuzi zetu, tunapaswa tuwe na viwanda ambavyo bidhaa zitaongezwa dhamani kwa vile ambavyo viwanda vitakavyotengenezwa. Bwana Spika, kwa mfano kama Laikipia tunapaswa tuwe na kiwanda ambacho tunaongeza dhamani katika ngozi ambazo zinapatikana Laikipia. Vile vile tukienda Makueni tunapaswa tuwe na viwanda ambavyo vitashughulikia mambo ya matunda, mfano maembe. Bwana Spika, haya ndio mambo ambayo tunapaswa kuwa tukiangalia. Bwana Spika, nikimalizia, kuna taarifa ambayo imeletwa na seneta wa kutoka Embu, Seneta Mundigi. Seneta Mundigi na ameileta katika kamati yetu ya barabara na kusema ya kwamba rais alitangaza kutakuwa na barabara kutoka Musiam Hill kuelekea Thika. Bwana Spika, na yeye mwenyewe akatia tashwishwi kwa kusema ya kwamba haoni katika bajeti hela ambazo zimewekwa. Nikashindwa kwa nini Seneta Mundigi anatia tashwishwi na kutoamini rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, na kwa hivyo si anatuletea mambo ambayo ni magumu, na yeye mwenyewe angeangalia taarifa hii, angeangalia katika bajeti aone kama kuna hiyo bajeti badala ya kuleta katika kamati ambayo mimi mwenyewe naivalia njuga. Bwana Spika, nashukuru.
Senator Richard Onyonka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll be very, very brief. I want to reiterate by supporting my brother Cherargei that the issue of the management or mismanagement of our resources using the e-system, which all of us have always said because of the hemorrhaging of our resources, either from government departments or into government departments, has been an issue. Something must be done. Mr. Speaker, the other issue that I wanted to raise is that the same story of our goons attacking leaders or members of the public is becoming a matter that we must be seized of, because if this doesn't stop, something is going to happen and it will affect all of us. And I really pray that this House will take its responsibility and magnanimity to sit and come up with a final solution. The reality is that opposition will be having our say, and we accept that government must have its way. So why would anybody want to stop me from going to say certain things? We are just getting back into our old bad habits. Mr. Speaker, thanks for your ruling. Madam Dulo has been going through this for the last 2 years. It has been a case of sadness, pain. I've attended some of the meetings in our county where we are targeted as senators, we are insulted on social media simply because she's been trying to oversight the governor. I think this is a matter that might be settled once and for all. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Senate Majority
Leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to make a quick comment on this issue regarding goons. This is a very serious matter, Mr. Speaker, but I don't like the tone and the direction it's taking. First, I heard Senator Osotsi, who says he's a victim, and I sympathize with him. For all good intention, he actually wants the House to investigate. And that is the way that we should go, because we must nip that culture in the bud, Mr. Speaker. That is not a culture that we need to encourage in the 21st century in a country that respects itself. And I hope, Mr. Speaker, that at the next appearance of the CS for Interior, he will actually give a roadmap, because we are headed to the 2027 general elections, and if we have marauding gangs around as the main political actors, then it may never be possible for young people, women, and all the vulnerable groups to participate actively in our elections. Be that as it may, Mr. Speaker, I am concerned because listening to his comments, he has requested the House to help unravel the issue, but has already concluded investigations on the floor. He has said he knows whose goons they are, that they belong to I don't know which government, and they cannot be intimidated. Mr. Speaker, what happened to goodwill, a forefront, that when you raise a matter before the House, then you give the House the opportunity to actually come and favor you with the requisite information on what has happened. I believe that ought to be the tone and the language of us as leaders, especially, Mr. Speaker, during this question time, because this session of asking comments is just to add any useful information which you think will be useful to the committee to aid them in finding solutions to that particular problem, but not to use the same to cast aspersions and make politically leaning assessments of matters, because that will surely derail the good effort of trying to get to the bottom of that particular matter. However, Mr. Speaker, I agree with those that are saying this is bad culture that we cannot allow in this country in the 21st century. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of the statement by Senator of Kisii, Senator Onyonka, and jointly with the comments or the statement made by Senator Dulo. Mr. Speaker, let's face it, we are living in very dangerous times. And it may look very fashionable today for an elected leader to mobilize young people to fight their battle in exchange of whatever stipend is given. But Mr. Speaker, what happens is that once that battle is won and done with, the same people will turn against you. Mr. Speaker, assemblies across the country are protected institutions. There should be no justification whatsoever for anyone to gain access to a county assembly and attack elected leaders or even staff working within assemblies. Mr. Speaker, it is my hope that the police officers in Kisii and elsewhere will swing into action and ensure that we bring this thing to an end. On the matter of Senator Dulo, Mr. Speaker, and I know you have given direction on this one, allow me just to say this. At least Senator Dulo is here today to talk about what she has gone through. It could have been worse. It could have been worse, Mr. Speaker. And I think a time has come, Mr. Speaker, that now the police must act as the police. They can never be seen to be taking sides on any matter. It doesn't matter who is mobilizing. It doesn't matter whether it is leaders allied to the government side or leaders allied to the opposition. It doesn't matter who is mobilizing, for as long as there's a breach of the law, Mr. Speaker, and that lives are being threatened. I just shudder to imagine what would have happened if those bullets that Senator Dulo is talking about hit the target. I just shudder to imagine what we'll be talking about today. Mr. Speaker, it is one thing to talk about these things, casually and just tick boxes. Mr. Speaker, action must be seen to be taken. And I like what the majority leader is saying, that where we are going now, Mr. Speaker, in the next few months, the political temperatures in this country will be eating fever pitch. We must be careful, Mr. Speaker, that we will have an election or a campaign where Senator Cherargei will sell his policies, if he has any, freely anywhere in the country, and Senator Wambua will be allowed to sell his policies anywhere in the country as well, Mr. Speaker. That is the country that we want to build. Not a country where, when people don't agree with you, then they physically manhandle you. Mr. Speaker, that cannot be allowed in this country.
Senator Cherargei, Senator Fernandi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have policies. I want to confirm to Senator Wambua. He should just be keen on what we are saying. So, Speaker, issue of Russia, Ukraine. Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to the government because I was just cross-checking that the country has what we call Kenya Diaspora Policy 2024, which is supposed to work on repatriation of bodies, issues of in-roll cost, issues of transportation of bodies. Mr. Speaker, I want to call upon the minister and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to do their job because the policy is in place. The Russian-Ukraine fatalities, Mr. Speaker, is to allow. There are so many ways on this matter can be handled once and for all, Mr. Speaker. So I want to appeal to Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi to be on top of the game, implement the Kenya Diaspora Policy of 2024. It is catered for, it is budgeted for, Mr. Speaker. It is asked to give the action process on how we can help Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, secondly and finally, is to appeal to NEA, National Employment Authority, to ban all agencies that are transporting Kenyans to Russia, Mr. Speaker, to fight. That is the only thing, Mr. Speaker, and we can't to ask DCI to apprehend anybody who is taking Kenyans or labor agencies that are going abroad, Mr. Speaker. Finally, on the issue of Talanta Sports, 11 billion, Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to the committee to invite the immediate former sports minister, who is the current Minister of Interior, to appear before the committee, because I heard what Honorable Ababu Namwamba said. So CS Murkomen must appear before that committee and tell us what happened to 11 billion difference, and he must be held accountable on it, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I support.
Senator Faki.
Asante Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia taarifa mbili, ambao moja ni ya Senator Dulo na ya pili ni ya Senator Miraji. Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi pia najiunga na maseneta wenzangu kusikitika kwa hali ambayo Senator Dulo ilimkuta hivi karibuni. Mheshimiwa Spika, usalama wa Wakenya wote na usalama wa viongozi wao, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni jambo la muhimu sana ambalo serikali lazima ilizingatie. Watu kuzurura na bunduki na silaha nyingine ambazo zinaweza kuharibu maisha kwa nchi yetu, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni jambo ambalo ni la kusikitisha, hususan wakati tunatenga fedha nyingi kwenda katika masuala ya ulinzi na usalama. Mheshimiwa Spika, swala la pili ni taarifa iliyoletwa na Senator Miraji kuhusiana na kunyimwa huduma kwa watoto walio chini ya miaka 5. Mheshimiwa Spika, katiba inasema kiongozi wa wengi, tuko katika bunge.
Senator Korir.
Yes. Mheshimiwa Spika, swala la matibabu kwa watoto walio chini ya miaka 5 ni swala la kikatiba. Katika katiba ya Kenya, Mheshimiwa Spika, katika kifungu cha 43 inasema kwamba watoto wana haki ya kupata matibabu kwa standard ya juu kabisa, kwa hali ya juu kabisa. Mheshimiwa Spika, kifungu hicho pia kimerudiwa katika kifungu cha 16 cha sheria ya watoto, wanaposema kwa watoto wanapaswa kupawa matibabu ya hali ya juu kabisa. Kwa Mheshimiwa Spika, kuzuiliwa watoto kupata huduma kwa sababu labda anatoka kaunti nyingine ama mzazi wake hana kadi ya kura ya kaunti ya Mombasa ama kaunti nyingine yoyote, Mheshimiwa Spika, hiyo ni kukiuka katiba na pia ni kukiuka sheria. Mheshimiwa Spika, hivi majuzi kuna mtoto wa chini ya miaka 5 alifariki katika hospitali kuu ya Makadara Mombasa, na ilichukua siku 30 ndio mtoto yule kupewa wazazi ili aende akazikwe. Mheshimiwa Spika, hilo ni jambo la kusikitisha, na kwa hivyo naunga mkono taarifa hii, na tungependa kamati ya afya, kwa sababu siku zingine wamekataa naona bado inawaka hapa, bado imezima.
Now, honorable senators, have you concluded? Okay, conclude your thoughts.
Kwa sababu kamati ya afya mara nyingi tukizungumzia masuala ya Mombasa huwa wanayapiga chenga na hawataki kuja Mombasa kuweza kufanya uchunguzi wa kisawasawa. Kwa Mheshimiwa Spika, naomba kamati hii iliangazie swala hii kwa ukamilifu. Asante.
Now, honorable senators, we have actually expended the 15 minutes allowable under this standing order, and therefore we will move to the next order. Clerk, proceed, call the next order, please. Now, honorable senators, we will defer order number 8 and 9 and straight away go to order number 10.
Order number 10, the Cultural Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2024. Second reading, resumption of debate.
Now, the interruption of debate on Wednesday, Senator Manzo had the floor and had a balance of 11 minutes. You may proceed, Honorable Senator.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the culture bill originates from Article 11 of the Constitution, which recognizes cultures as the foundation of the nation and as the cumulative civilization of the Kenyan people and nation. And this particular one is pursuant, this particular legal proposal, which should have been done as early as 2010, when the new constitution came into force, is under 2A, which is promote all forms of national and cultural expression through literature, the arts, traditional celebrations, science, communication, information, mass media, publication, libraries, and other cultural heritages. Mr. Speaker, my contribution stems from that in the African culture, there is science, Mr. Speaker. The traditional culture had a way of medication. In fact, one of the things which is mind-boggling, the Maasai people live with snakes just like the Kambas do. The Maasai have a way of treating a snake bite, which is traditional, and that is science, Mr. Speaker, which should be preserved, and which, probably should be taught other communities, so that that particular science is sourced. There are quite a number of other sciences which are culturally developed, Mr. Speaker, and they need to be preserved. I'm aware when I was growing up in Makueni, my grandmother knew some medicines. She knew what herb you will chew the root and your stomachache is gone. She knew what herb to chew and a flu is gone. But now no one has kept this science alive. It's not been preserved. And I think it's very, very important these cultures be preserved. The Constitution is talking about libraries. Probably we should have a library of each particular culture. When you go to Washington, D.C., you find so that the traditional dresses of different cultural communities are preserved and they are known, and in fact encouraged and practiced, so that during national days, Mr. Speaker, we should actually wear our cultural heritage dresses. There's a time we were trying to come up with the actual, official Kamba dress. And that research is going on so that we could have an identity of that nature. You have seen heavy, very serious culture of the Kalejins, culture of the Ogieks, culture of Somalis, all this cultural heritage. As the Swahili say, go, mwachamila ni mutumwa, we should not be slaves of other cultures. Mr. Speaker, when I attended the 2008 Olympics in China, the Chinese president spoke to us in his language, and it was up to whoever you are near who can interpret Chinese language, then you will follow what the speech was about. And I think we should be proud of our languages. They should be the ones used to teach in universities, in science, in mathematics, in geography. So that, Mr. Speaker, there are countries who do the same. In Germany, there are languages, there are subjects which are taught purely in Germany. In India and many other places. So, Mr. Speaker, this law is very important, although it's been developed late. And what I'm focusing on is, once it is done, and probably we could make further amendments to make it potent and make it better, that we preserve all the gazetted cultures of Kenya, because our diversion, our differences in cultures even strengthen us better, so that even children can learn. When I went to primary school, I was taught Kamba. It's no longer a subject in schools today. So I can read a Kamba Bible and I can write fluently in Kamba. But that's no longer in the curriculum, Mr. Speaker. So the children who are growing now, they are only taught Swahili and English. And English is a foreign culture, Mr. Speaker. So we need to preserve, and this can be best done through the counties, the county governments, because different counties carry different cultures. In Nairobi, we used to have the traditional arts and the culture preservation at the Bomas of Kenya. I don't know what's happening now because there is a very big modern hotel being built there. I still believe these cultures should be retained. We should know and learn and be happy of the Giriama culture, Pokomo culture, Dinko culture, Kamba culture, Kalenjin culture, Luya culture, the bullfighting. It should not come to an end, Mr. Speaker. We should be having that sort of thing. And I think this is a very important piece of legislation. Should be promoted through the counties. Instead of what we are seeing in some of these counties, people, politicians taking at each other. They should be busy building the traditional culture. Mr. Speaker, which was the African traditional cultures were of very honest people. And this, Mr. Speaker, was done when King Leopold II went to Congo, where most of us came from, especially the Bantu. He found these people very honest, and they had to come up with a strategy to spoil their way of doing things. Mr. Speaker, in the Kamba culture, you don't steal from anyone. You don't steal, things which you have found left somewhere. People, they know that you should not take what does not belong to you. There are even myths, Mr. Speaker, which should be demystified. The other day, I was contributing, Senator Kenya was asking me about the myth of the Kamba community and some communities in the coast, where you actually don't steal somebody's wife. They have a way of their science which protects. And Mr. Speaker, some of these myths should be demystified. And if somebody is caught, they pay a very heavy fine. In fact, Mr. Speaker, we had a member of parliament from the coast who said he knew about that medicine. And that's why he sits comfortably in Nairobi, because he knows nobody will steal his own thing in the coast. Whether it's a goat or whatever it is, he will catch the person, Mr. Speaker. So these myths should also be demystified. And if there is any science associated with it, then, Mr. Speaker, this science should be preserved. A lot of research done on it, so that it can be one of the things, Mr. Speaker, we can be proud of. Let me conclude by saying, when Moses went to Pharaoh and laid down his staff and it became a snake, the Pharaoh also called his people. They could also do similar, science. But to show that God is mightier than the other gods, Moses' snake swallowed the other snakes. And in fact, snakes do swallow snakes. Those who have seen it in the forests. And therefore, this science, this traditional...
What is your point of order, Senator, for Mombasa?
Wa Makueni, lakini amezungumza mambo hapa ambayo ni ya kutamausha. Hapa katika hili bunge kwa sasa tuna maseneta watatu pamoja na spika ambao watoka katika maeneo ya Pwani. Na spika amesema, na Mheshimiwa Maanzo amesema kwamba kuna mbunge wa Pwani ambaye alikuwa hana wasiwasi kwa sababu alikuwa ana miti fulani ambayo anatumia ambayo bibi yake hawezi kumwendea kinyume. Sisi tunajua mambo ya Kamutini, mambo ambayo yako Kitui, Makueni, Machakos na kwa kwingineko. Je, ni sawa Mheshimiwa Spika kutoa maneno ya bila ya kuweza kuthibitisha ni mbunge gani? Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Manzo, ikiwa huna ushahidi, tafadhali ondosha matamshi hayo na uendelee kumaliza hotuba yako.
Yes, sir. Mr. Speaker, I say there are myths. There are myths. I have never, in Kombani they are there, and I will be very happy if somebody demystified. I only hear, and I wish, Mr. Speaker, I can also, these myths can be demystified.
Umesema kwamba kuna mbunge wa Pwani.
Alikuwa mbunge, sasa sio mbunge tena, rafiki yangu, ambaye aliniambia, that's why he's pretty in Nairobi.
Maliza hoja yako.
Niseme ya kwamba Mr. Speaker, haya maneno ni muhimu sana yafanyiwe uchunguzi. Wale wazee wa zamani ambao wanaelewa hii sayansi iweze kuhifadhiwa, ya kutibu watu, ya kutibu nyoka, ya kutibu wizi. Kule Ukambani wakati mwingine nasikia wale, kuna wazee huwezi iba mali yao hata kama ni ng'ombe. Atasema yule aliimba ng'ombe rudisha. The next day, Mr. Speaker, somebody is eating grass. Whoever is a
Senator Manzo, can you choose your language?
Just English, Mr. Speaker, my apologies. And therefore, this is what happens with this science, and through this act of parliament, we want to know the research, the myths, the truths, the facts, and what best can make our cultures better, preserved, and for the benefit of the people. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mngatana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to support this bill. Mr. Speaker, a few months ago, the people in Itsoe village practiced a known Pokomo tradition where women, if they feel that a fellow woman or the decency of a woman has been attacked, they would gather around the young man or whoever and practice a culture which we call kufunya, which means they would administer punishment by pinching that person. Pinching, it's like a mob justice of sorts. And this would happen if a young man knows that, for example, a woman is giving birth in such a place, in a particular place, and you approach it. You risk that kind of punishment. Mr. Speaker, when that traditional punishment was administered on a person, somebody decided to go to court. Somebody decided to punish a whole village because they were practicing their culture. Mr. Speaker, our constitution, the new constitution that we created, said that we must put in a bill, and this bill is supposed to fill in the gap in the culture area. Mr. Speaker, up to now, there has been no bill that has come to make reality of our cultures, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, what happens is the European culture, because a person like that gets a P3 and starts harassing an entire village because they were practicing a culture. Mr. Speaker, I want to state it before this House that it cannot be that the culture of the European is superior to the culture of the African man. We knew, Mr. Speaker, what was good for us. We knew. And Mr. Speaker, that case is in court, and I'm paying close attention to what is happening. Because what they did, they picked 1-2 people and decided these are going to pay the price for the entire cultural practice. Mr. Speaker, if this law was in place, it would be able to protect people who are exercising culture, upholding African culture in a manner that keeps society together. Mr. Speaker, amongst the Pokomo, if you do not participate in the burial of other people, if you are never there to dig the graves of other people, when their families lose their loved ones, when your time comes, you will also not be supported. You will be expected to go out and look for those other people who you think are more important than the villagers to help you dig. So you have to go outside and incur that expense. If you offend the village, you are the village goon or the village witch person, or what you call the wizard, who is hurting people, and people have information that you're the one, there was something about throwing you out of the entire place. You are not allowed even to access your own house, Mr. Speaker. And these cultures kept our people together. They kept our people bound together. They created boundaries and good behavior for our people. And Mr. Speaker, to date, some of the people, the way they behave, the only way to deal with them is under cultural practices. Mr. Speaker, it was time to have this bill. Aside from practices that keep the country, the cultures and the people together, there was science around our people in those days. I sat with an old Orma man, and he was telling me in their community,